Hello ladies and others. Today is a big day for SAS fans, because the long-awaited sequel, Zombie Assault Revolutions, has just released its first playtest of the alpha version. Ninjakiwi's first dev dive on Reddit states that although they have been looking forward to this moment for many years, they were not able to receive the funding due to negative reviews by certain people on YouTube. One such YouTuber, the Primo Z, released a video so scathing that not only would a sequel be impossible at the time, but many of the team were rendered homeless. Only from a surge of miracles were this team able to bundle up $120, which became $180 out of the generosity of the BT6 team. Not everyone was allowed to join the playtest, however. To get a chance of being accepted, users had to complete a form. This form started out with the usual questions, then delved into their specific experiences with SAS4. There was much discussion about the questions, however, and what they were hoping to get out of Zombie Assault Revival, as many believed that some of them were too invasive, too personal, or just outright strange. The head of the Zombie Assault team addressed these arguments, however, stating that these questions were important to fully understand who the audience is, so that they have something to please everyone. On a positive note, some questions on the forum made many aware that the Zombie Assault team is following the current discussion in the SAS communities. The forum garnered strong responses, positive and negative, with some stating that it provided a surprising amount of insight. Now, onto the playtest. Many agreed it had a very powerful opening, both succinctly explaining the backstory and setting the tone. Users were surprised by the speed of the screen transitions, saying that they were used to the leisurely pace of SAS4's buttons. It was like someone telling you they would pretend to punch you, but they did it for real, in the face, with fists. In the alpha version were 3 modes, as described in the dev diary. The Cave, where players face an endless wave of zombies. The Choice, which tests the player's morality. And the Hub, which takes a new spin on upgrading your weapons and stats between missions. There were also to be 166 unique characters, but they are yet to be released. Upon playtest of the Cave, players noted many differences compared to the usual SAS4 experience. One critical deviation is reduction of health, from approximately 20,000 to 5. Many players favored this decision, stating that there was a lack of necessary risk in the prior games. But some prominent SAS4 heavy mains, specifically Silver Sword, Filipinas, and Fast Jacko, stated that the health was far too low, and that it actually should have been increased to at least 35,000, they all agreed. Additionally, many Tsorthan users expressed concerns that it was far too hard to aim at the small zombies, and that using the other available weapon, the shotgun, was far too risky. However, most other players appreciated the trade-offs and risks completely new to this game. The Choice, however, left many players in tears, with it almost unanimously being described as heartbreaking, soul-crushing. It begins in a dungeon, the objective being to rescue the survivor hidden inside, but there are many other optional characters you can bring with you. Near the end of the dungeon is a surprise that took many players off their seat. The SSS clan, particularly, has had massive trouble with this section, as they have been reported to be so used to camping or tanking that once any actual danger was involved, none of them could pass the mission. When asked why they didn't just bring the zombie with them like every other player, one member explained, "Most of us in the SSS clan are Russian, so we do not have the Latin E, like most players. Rather, we have the Cyrillic E, but for some reason when we press it, it just makes the zombie go faster." Once players reach the door, however, they would soon learn that the mission has just begun, and things will get much, much worse. A warning to all viewers beforehand, these next scenes may be very disturbing. This moment made it very clear why this mode was called The Choice. Upon the realization that they would have to decide the fate of each of the characters, many players broke down and could not continue playing. The ones that went on were at a desperate struggle with right and wrong, as they made a series of decisions they could not take back. The players who made it to the end of the mission stated that this scene changed them permanently. I was not in any danger, yet I felt terror, because I learned today that every time I put a gun between someone's eyes and pull the trigger, it gets easier. One particular death struck everyone, with some deeming the murder of the ancient golden pig too cruel for someone so innocent. People held funerals in the comment sections of YouTube playthroughs for the ancient golden pig, and some started a petition on change.org, that others argue that they have missed the point of the mission. In this world, whether they deserve it or not, anyone can die. anyone but me. Moving on, the hub is a new take on the weapon system. Many have criticized the system in SAS 4, citing its lifelessness and a missed opportunity to connect upgrading weapons and skills to the lore and world building. Reviewers were pleased at the changes made in Zombie Assault Reductionism, and went wild at the first fully voiced character, Akira Akito.
Hello, my name is Akira Akiko. I will fight this war. But I don't...
The Japanese voice actor received high praise early into the playtest, with one Let's Player commenting that he sounds just like that guy in Rush Hour. That's not all though, as Akira is not just a middleman for upgrades. Just as the dev diary stated, the characters in the hub are fully fleshed out, and you could be allies or enemies with them, depending on your actions in the game. Make the wrong choices, and you may no longer be the most dangerous guy in the room.
Can 10in of T combine these two things? Idiot.
And finally, the weapons is just the regular cage of your current weapons, though observant players may have noticed the fundamental change. Rather than the list of gun sets in SAS 4, there is now one single set that describes the overall quality, called power. In an interview with the dev team, they stated, "Reducing the variables to the calculation of a single number is boring, so this time we did the opposite. We now show you the general ranking among every gun up front, and if you want to find its individual sets, you will have to playtest to figure it out." We decided that would be a much more fun way to approach the game. Many players reacted positively to this, saying that the system was much more intuitive now, compared to SAS 4 where it was extremely common for players to misunderstand which guns in the game are good and which are not. Now, what do the big names in the SAS community think about the alpha? There was high praise by many, but not everyone favored the new game. The Primo C for one states that he does not appreciate the new weapon system. In this review video, he states, "Fun isn't a strict path tailor-made by the developers. Everyone finds their own way to enjoy the game. Personally, I enjoyed the game by grabbing some popcorn and having a laugh at whatever augments the new guy puts on their gun. I won't be able to do that now that the system isn't full of pitfalls." Later, he posted a video about how the release of the finished Zombie Assault Recollections would tarnish the SAS community's culture, predicting that well-known staples such as the Bodily Function Cat, Shoebill, and Cell will be replaced by Zombie Assault Recommission themed emojis such as Thinker, Spare, Kill, and Join of the God. The YouTuber known as Sloan has also stated its issues with the game attempting to differentiate itself from the ones that came prior, saying, "It was once said that players will eventually optimize the fun out of anything. What sets SAS apart from the rest is that in this game, it happens from day one." The YouTuber known as Papa Bear similarly advocated for tradition. Zombie Assault Reciprocation has extremely fast screen transitions, virtually no memory leaks or lag. The weapons are balanced and the system is intuitive. It is nothing like the SAS 4 I've come to know and love. Despite this, players overall feel positive about the direction this game is taking, and most just want to have fun with this new experience. The YouTuber known as Famitoli has released a video called Upright, where they attempt to find a shortcut in a choice mission via a subtle exploit. Grunt has already made a top 10 weapons video, where he starts with the 2 guns already in the game, and spends the rest of the video on an Excel sheet hypothesizing what guns might exist in the future. X has stunned the community with an early world record on the cave, and Scorch managed to hack the alpha playtest and is now practicing for his new job in law enforcement. Primo himself will release a video in 2025 talking about how the Magpie is the best gun in the game, until next week when it isn't. Inferno has stated that Zombie Assault Revision is now by far his favorite game, and is soon planning to release his thought in his next video. Uixintu, when asked whether he could make a DPS calculator for Zombie Assault Retroversion, he left the server. There were 2 veterans that many were hoping would try out the new sequel, namely Dinglesnut, who is known as the best medic in SAS 4, and Charles, who is known as the best medic in SAS 4. Unfortunately, neither of them could be reached for questioning. With that being said, that's all for today, and I wish you all— wait, what's that? Alright, I was just told that unfortunately, one of the playtesters named Carl has sadly died from a heart attack, after seeing the Tinker S10 get classified as a shotgun